Start now. Good evening, teachers and classmates. Today, my team member Anna and I will introduce and analyze the classic poem of British poet John Keats, which is Ode to the Nightingale. Next page. So our speech is mainly divided into 10 parts according to the poetry analysis worksheet. And here is the content table of our presentation. Our speech is designed to last about 20 to 30 minutes, and if you have any question in the process, you are welcome to put them forward in the final Q&A session. So now we will start. Next page. First of all, let's look at the title of this poem, Ode to Nightingale. The title by Keats suggests that it owes as the genre of poetry. According to scholars like Harman in 2009, we can learn that ode is one of the many forms of poetry. The ode, which is of Greek origin, means a poem. Previous page. Yeah. Means a poem written to be recited to the accompaniment of music. It's a serious and dignified composition, almost always in rhyme. It's longer than the lyric proper and is often in the form of an address. It's a long lyric serious in subject, elevated in style and elaborate in stanzic structure. It's a lyric poem usually of some length, and it can be taken as a full jazz poem. It's a single unified string of novel lyric verse focused on our single purpose and dealing with one theme. Ode is a specific poem. It remains the following crucial features, like the dignified subject matter, the form of an address, leisurely, slow, waiting movement, over elaboration, and the spacious planning and noticeable length. Therefore, when I saw the title, I guess that there may be some story between the poet and a nightingale, and two problems arose in my mind. What did Nightingale do to drive the poet to write an ode to it, and what's the content of the poet praising the Nightingale? With expectations of these two issues, we continue to browse the content of this poem. Next page. Thank you. So here is the summary of the story told in this poem. One day, sitting under a tree, the speaker suddenly heard the cry of nightingales of the tree in a trance. The gentle and the cheerful call of the nightingale attracts the speaker and makes the speaker feel relaxed and happy. Along with the nightingale's call, he cannot help but feel the vitality of life and also the desire to pursue new life. However, the nightingale's beautiful song also reminds the speaker of the pain and the sorrow he suffers in real life. So in the end, he decided to liberate himself like this free nightingale, no longer fearing survival and death, to pursue the beauty and hope of the world. Therefore, we know that this poem describes the process of the speaker's struggle, release and gradual identification of his heart between the beauty and the freedom of the ideal world and the pain and the misfortune of the real world. Next page. Next is the syntax display of some contents in this stanza. I selected 4 sentences from stanzas 2, 5, and 8 respectively. The column on the left is an excerpt of the original text. The right side corresponds to the rearrangement of the sentences according to the meaning and the context of the original text. For example, the original sentences "Oh, for a drop of vintage" that has been called a long age in the deep delete earth is reordered to show the sentence pattern, like have a glass of wine that has cooled for a long time on the deep earth. Accordingly, the fast fasten violations covered up in leaves can be rearranged into fast fasting violations covered in leaves. Although the fence cannot eat so well as she is paid to do, deceiving elf can be rearranged into goodbye. The elf can always play with its chicks. And the sentence up the hillside and now it is burned deep in the next village glades can become climbing up the hillside and is now deeply burned in the nearby village. In addition, I need to note that the underlined words in the left column, such as cold, covered, filmed teeth, actually represent the abbreviations of cold, covered, filmed, and itis, respectively. The application of the skill of omitting syllables in these sentences stresses the rise of the poem, makes the reader read it fluently, and enhances the beauty of phonology. Next page. And now let's think about the speaker and the addressee of this poem. The speaker of the arts is the poet who treats birds with admiration and esteem. Keats represents the nightingale as an ancient bird whose song has been heard not only by common folks but also by emperor and clown, and undoubtedly it will be heard persistently in the days to come. The ode is centered on nature in the form of birds. Keats, in his ode to a nightingale, reacts to the happiness brought to him by the song of the nightingale. The speaker of the poem is deeply moved by the song of a nightingale, and as for the addressee, the speaker addresses the nightingale, which he considers to be carefree, immortal, and happy. This poem deals with the dignified subject matter, transcends of the human life or the mortality of the human life or suffering in the human life. Therefore, the speaker likes to escape from the suffering world of the reality to the pleasing world of imagination. And it is a longer poem in which the post addresses a nightingale. We find so winning movement of the plot. It implies the over elaboration and spacious planning. It's longer than a lyric proper. Plenty of reference items are added to elaborate the main thesis of the poem. The content like my heart arches, testing of Flora, dissolve and quite forget. The words I hear this passing night are the personal feelings and experiences of the speaker. So there are the subjective projections of the speaker. The musical quality in this poem can primarily be realized through words. Next page. The setting of Ode to a Nightingale is diverse. I think it can be the house with which he and his friend Brown shared in spring, and the garden and the palm tree, or just under the next building by nightingales. Because the poet was inspired by a nightingale whose nest was built near the house which he and his friend Brown shared. One morning, Keats sat under a palm tree and wrote his ode when he heard beautiful singing of a nightingale. As the song of the nightingale fades away with reverberating the terrority, his imagination leaves him in a confused state. Next page. Then when we discuss the situation, in my opinion, this poem is not a narrative poem because there is no story here, only the author's psychological activities. However, no matter how the speaker's mental journey changed, the focus of the whole poem was not shifted. It has always been on the nightingale, which is carried out through the response and feelings of the speaker when he hears the nightingale's cry. Therefore, on the right, we can see the interleaving diagram of two images I designed. His ability to appeal to the sense through language is virtually unrevealed. So through this poem, we can feel that the case falls into a reverie while listening to an actual nightingale sing. It feels both the emotion of joy and pain, which is an ambivalent response. So in the following page, we can find that the plot is carried out in the entanglement of two contradictory images. The beauty of the ideal world and also the cruelty of the real world. If you are confused about the relationship between these two images at present, it's okay because next we will explain it in combination with the specific content of this poem. Next page. This poem comprises 8 stanzas. In stanzas 2, we found that the poet wants to escape from the pain of a drawing pain reality. It begins to move into a world of imagination or fantasy, and he longs for one. The description of drinking and of the word associated with wine is idealized, with the images associating the wind with summer, country pleasure, and also romantic purpose. And in stanza 3, the poet used the word fade in the last line of stanza 2 and in the first line of this stanza to let the stanzas together and to move easily into his next thought. His awareness of the real world pulls him back from the imagined world of drink joy. And the poet suddenly cries out away for I will fly to sea. He turns to fantasy again, and he objects in line 2 and in line 3 he announces he is going to use the viewless wings of Posse to join a fantasy bird. He contrasts this mode of experience to the brain that perplexes and retards in line 5 he seems to succeed in drawing the bird. The imaged world described in the rest of the stanza is dark. Next page. In the fifth stanza is one where flowers bloom and die and the seasons come and go. There he is conscious of his mortality and is drawn by the fantasy of drawing to the nightingale's music. Because the poet can't see in the darkness, he must rely on his other senses. Even in this refuge, death is present. And in stanza 6, the poet begins to distance himself from the nightingale, which he joined in imagination in stanzas 4 and 5. Kiss years to die, a state which he imagines as only drawn for, as pain-free, and to emerge with the bird song. Kiss imagines a death which is surprising conclusion, but then acknowledges that if he were dead, the soul would go unheard. Therefore, Ode to a Nightingale described a series of conflicts between the reality and the romantic ideal of uniting with nature. So in the following page, Anna will continue to talk about the theme of this poem. Next page.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Now it's my part to introduce you the theme of this poem. The poet shows us a series of contradictory pictures between the realistic and the ideal world in a dreamy situation. At the same time, the poet expresses his longing for ecological harmony, and here themes are divided into 3 parts: the rupture of ecological harmony, the reconstruction of ecological harmony, and the call of the nightingale. In the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution quickened up the pace of urbanization. The direct influence of which was the deterioration of the environment. Man's utilitarian efforts to change and conquer the world had actually been distancing themselves from nature. This rupture includes the break of human-nature harmony, human-society harmony, and human-human harmony. In human-nature harmony, the ecology is seriously destroyed by humans. Flowers, sunshine, moonlight are all common things in real life. However, the poet cannot see them. The lack of these things indicates a break of ecological balance. The environmental disasters man has confronted with are the bitter fruit of their own making. If man harms nature, he may suffer from it and their contradiction will aggravate. And in human society harmony, man's alienation from nature makes human love disappear. The whole society is cold, indifferent, cruel, and disseminated. Man's society harmony is broken. Most people are oppressed by the society and the social relationships are disseminated. The social relationship is materialized. Men, like slaves and machines, work and live. They lose their thoughts and spirits. The loss of self-identity makes them lose human rights. The song of the nightingale is the call of nature to human beings.